tell. Franco's got the stories that never go stale. With the champs, the underdogs, the dreamers too. He's walking and talking just for you. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends alive. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars.
Welcome to Walking with Franco, the podcast. In this podcast, I will be interviewing some of this country's top wrestling talent, all while out walking. And I will be giving you, the listener, a little insight into how they train and prepare for big matches, finding out what their hopes and dreams were. I'll be trying to get to know what they like to do in their spare time, who their favourite opponents are, who they would love to wrestle, and also trying to find out what's next for them. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be getting a few hints, tips, and most importantly, some laughs along the way. So please like, subscribe, and share our YouTube and Facebook pages. Now, let's get on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Walking with Franco, our very first episode, and we have an absolute stormer of a guest today. He is the one and only, the View Steven Carvel, the People's Peacock, Booster the Rooster. Is there any other names you'd like to go by, Steven, or is that?
You can keep going there, Franco, if you want. You know, we've got all day, really.
We do got all day.
Thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure and an honour to be your first guest as well, so we'll try to make it as entertaining as I can.
Thank you very much. Well, just before we kick off, I just want to let all the listeners know that Walking with Franco is an idea that I got from actually being out walking one day, and I bumped into you, and we were going the same direction, and you were giving me some tips and advice, and I thought to myself,
Oh dear.
I should be writing this stuff down, and I thought, it would be rude for me to write this sort of stuff down and keep it to myself. This is the type of thing that should be shared because it's good knowledge and it's good things to sort of pass on to guys that are coming up. And so this is the reason why I wanted you to come on and be the number one guest, because you're partly to blame for this. So
Okay, it's my fault then.
it's your fault. It's just like being in the house, But first and foremost, sort of tell us who you are and give us a little history behind the View Steven Carvel.
Okay, the character of the View started, I wanted to look outside of professional wrestling for ideas and sort of wanted to stay away from stereotypical wrestling characters. I'm not sure a lot of people understood the character at the start, but those that did seemed to like it. The character was based very much so on Mads Mikkelsen's interpretation of Hannibal from the TV show, and also Patrick Bateman, which was Christian Bale's character in American Psycho. So I wanted him to be a wee bit obsessive compulsive. He would wear suits every promo he done. I'd seen a lot of guys doing promos in gyms, shorts and t-shirt in the wrestling training center. I wanted to stay away from that and be something different. At the time, I think it was one of the few wrestlers on the scene here that actually had long hair as well. Believe it or not, now everyone has long hair. I wanted a gimmick. I wanted something that I could market. I'm a huge fan of Billy Gunn, and I loved when he was doing the Mr. Ass gimmick and he had the red lips, like the Rolling Stone lips on his trunks. So I kind of stole that and thought if I used a wine glass, I toyed with a whiskey glass over a wine glass, but settled with a wine. Partially because I'm fond of a glass or two myself. No secret to that. So that's kind of how the character started.
And what's your first memories of wrestling, and how did you get into it?
Okay, first memories of wrestling. I was about maybe 6 or 7, and I was at my friend's house, and he had wrestling on the TV because he had Sky, which we didn't, or I didn't have. I'm an only child in my house.
Yep.
I remember mentioning getting it to my dad, and his answer was short, not sweet. But yeah, he was one of the only ones that or one of the first friends that had Sky, and I was over at his house, and I remember Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus the Repo Man. So
Barry Darso,
Barry Darso, sorry, yes,
who's also a member of Demolition.
yes,
So a lot of people don't know him,
yes,
and they find that out. I actually only found that out recently myself, and I was quite surprised at that. But
he also played a Russian too, didn't he?
yes, great character. And it just showed you his versatility as well. He could play all those different guys.
Yeah.
And one of the things you never seen the Demolition character in the Repo Man.
No.
You know that was good. He had that wealth and knowledge in his back pocket, but he could be a different character and a different wrestler in a sense.
Yeah, I liked all those old gimmicks. My favorite wrestler, kind of from memory as a child, it's a bit of a strange one, but I was Pop Shango. I just loved the mystique and the
another
the
great
creepiness.
guy that had many different characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Papa Shango was your favorite back then. Had you any other favorite wrestlers growing up?
Yeah. As I got a little older, I was watching wrestling in and around the time that Brett and Owen were feuding.
Yes.
And everyone was pro Brett, whereas I was pro Owen. I just thought Owen was fantastic. He's my all-time favorite wrestler. I try to do a lot of his stuff in the ring. I think he's an incredible. Even like when he would get a 2 count and then he would celebrate like he'd won. I love that. Those arms.
Yes.
I
Anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Bret Hart fan, and for some strange unknown reason, I don't know why, but Jago was a huge Shawn Michaels fan.
Yeah.
You know, I've obviously done something wrong somewhere, but Owen Hart was always a second best to me.
And class.
When you watch some of his stuff back now, you can see the skills and the techniques that he had. And he was really head and shoulders above a lot of performers back then.
Yeah, even the stuff in Stampede. You know, you get clips of it. It's fantastic. Stuff in Japan as well.
Yeah.
The work. I mean, I've watched a match with him with Ultimo Dragon as well, and it's insane.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame that some of that stuff will be lost the sands of time, because he's next level in my eyes. If Owen Hart had lived a few extra years, you know, he would have had guys like Benoit, Guerrero, Malenko, work in WWE, and that would have been a real dynamite situation to be in, I think, you know.
He was also quite known as a practical joker.
Yes, he was.
And you hear some of the stories the guys even tell today about him, and I just be rolling.
Oh.
And I hear the chuckles, you know. And even the Undertaker would say, you know, he would whip you and he would call, you know, like monkey flip armbar, and you're like, whoa, what? And then he would just hit you with a tackle, you know.
Oh, man.
So why or how did you start training, and why did you decide, or how did you decide that this is something that I want to do and this is something that I can do?
Okay, to be brutally honest about it, I've always wanted to wrestle. I just was ignorant that there was a scene here. I knew that the Finleys had a school up in Carrickfergus, but for me, you know, it would be a bit of a trek, and also I thought it was an amateur wrestling school. Maybe I could have pushed a bit more when I was younger, but I finally took the plunge when I was 29. You know, I started a bit later on, and I actually started the same time as Blake Richards, who we had been best friends since secondary school, really. You know, so it was nice to have our first training session together as well, and later on our first match together. You know, so
yeah. So you'd have remembered Blake Richards when he had hair?
Yeah, long curly flowing locks. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he had a terrible haircut in school as well. So he did. He had curtains in school. You needed a drawstring to close them. Desperate. The big tub of gel that you got in the chemist was like 30p.
Yes.
Yeah, he used the whole tub in one go. Like,
I'll
tell you,
Rick.
Friday night, ready to go. Did you hear that, Rick? Did you?
So, what's your memories, or what can you remember from your debut match?
Debut match was with a company that's no longer going. It's a company called Uprising. It was run by the Kings of the North, Bonesaw and Damien Corvin. Debut match, we were given 6 minutes from memory, and the referee for the match was Foxy, and we got rave reviews. on the match, and it kind of promoted both of us. I think it gave us a few extra opportunities. I mean, it got us in the eyes of wrestling.ie at the time as well, which got us reps in. Unfortunately, it's no longer running.
Yep.
So that was good. You know, it opened some doors.
You were saying there about the amateur wrestling. I remember whenever Jack Jack has been interested in wrestling from he was no age.
Yeah.
And funny thing is, I was left to mind him one time, and he was only about 18 months old, and he was in foul form. Uh, he just it was just one of those days that no matter what he tried to do it, he didn't want to do it, and he'll not be happy when I say this, but he was gurning and whining, and his mum had run out.
Takes after his dad then.
Yeah, oh, I can whine with the best. But I remember looking through the TV and thinking, I need to get something to calm this child down, because if his mum comes home and he's in rotten form, I'll be the worst in the world. And I'm sure his mum will never ever forgive me for this, but I came across WWE wrestling and I thought, I'll try this. And I put it on, and he stood in the middle of the living room for about 45 minutes, just glued to the TV and didn't move. And from that day on hour, he has just been engulfed in wrestling. His whole life has just revolved around wrestling. And when he wanted to start, I didn't do too. I actually came across something about an amateur wrestling school in Lisburn.
Yeah.
And I said to him, what about going there? You know, you can sort of go down the Kurt Angle route. And he just wasn't having it. He didn't, he was like, no, I want to be a professional wrestler. So later on in life, it was about a year or two later, I came across Titanic wrestling, and you're a wee bit ignorant
Yes.
to the local scene, and it's only whenever you dip your toes in the water, you realise how big it is. I mean, there's so many wrestling organisations, not just in Ireland, but in Northern Ireland as well. And then when you look across the water to England, Scotland, and Wales, and there's so many good schools, and it's just knowing where to look and how to look.
I think what it is too, I think now it's become very popular. It's very mainstream again. You know, it's getting a buzz. Whereas before, when we kind of broke in, it was 2015, 16. It hadn't really picked up. I mean, that the scene, in England was fantastic, and I know a lot of lads were signed around that time as well. But WWE had not really become mainstream again. I would say probably the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it has really, really taken off. So, what was your first experience or impression of your training, your wrestling training?
Okay. When I started, I expected tough enough. I expected to be surrounded by people who had maybe been training for years, and these big jack guys or whatever. And that's why I was so hesitant at the start. I was maybe not believing in myself the way I should. And when I turned up, I realised that everyone was kind of in the same boat.
Yep.
And so when I first started, I was expecting tough enough. If you remember that show.
Yes.
I was expecting to turn up, not be prepared. I hit the gym really, really hard. I always try to hit the gym hard, but I hit the gym extra hard. Training every day, trying to get my cardio up, trying to get in the best shape I could. And see, when I turned up with Rick, I was like, I'm more than ready for this.
Yep.
So there was a lot of squats, a lot of push-ups, a lot of star jumps, a lot of cardio, a lot of running the ropes, which is super important. I mean, we would training sessions back then. We wouldn't have been home to after 10 or 11 at night. We would have stayed on. Yeah, put the work in, man.
Put the work in. You get out what you put in.
Yes, sir.
So, what did you find the hardest or the most difficult thing to learn?
Okay. Something that I still actually have issues with. I don't know what it is. It's body mechanics for me, and it's just a bit of a blank. It's hip tosses and arm drags.
Right.
I don't know. It's just something that I can do them. I just, in my head, always wanted to envision myself like Ricky Steamboat, doing that nice wee tuck of the hips as you swoop over.
Yes.
No, I just can't get it. I end up doing sort of like a drop and and hustle rather than anything else.
Yeah.
But I try to tend to leave them out if I can.
Have you ever considered being a coach yourself?
I have done coaching before. For me, it's a time issue. I'm heavily involved with my martial arts, my judo, my Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I'm also a dad, as you know yourself, Franco.
Yes,
I have
yes,
two small boys. I'm married with two small boys. Seth's 6 and Reggie's 3.
yes. I've
So
met them. They're two great kids.
yeah, you have, man. You've been around at our house a few times, and you know, at the start when Seth was born, you know yourself, it's life changing. It's excellent, but
Yep,
it's life changing, and priorities change, and your time is now no longer your own.
yep.
So at the minute, funny enough, me and my wife were joking about this not so long ago as well. We looked at each other and we're like, we can finally get out for dinner again together,
Yeah,
The boys are at an age now where they can be left with a babysitter for a few hours, while mommy and daddy go out and have a meal or a couple of
yeah.
glasses of wine, so
When the next one comes along, then you're back to square one again.
there'll be no more.
Oh, never say never,
The
Stephen.
family
Never say
holidays
never.
family holidays are for families of 4. But no, it's great having them, man, and they're at an age now where they can come to a show and they can appreciate a show, especially Seth. He's wrestling mad. But coaching for me, maybe down the line when I get some time freed up, maybe when I hang the boots up, which will be no time soon, as long as my body holds together. So yeah,
So you say about your two boys are wrestling mad.
yes.
Do you see a future for them within the sport?
I'd say Seth would be hard to talk out of it. I recently done a charity show, and my wife Sheridan brought Seth to watch me. And at the end of the show, the promoter was kind enough to let Seth into the ring. This is the first time he'd been into a wrestling ring before, and he started to run the ropes quite well, actually, for a 6-year-old in Crocs.
Oh,
He knew to put his left hand down as well, like they would have done in Japan or Mexico,
yes.
before they do the dive, and to touch the middle rope. And I was like, okay, Seth, time to get out. And it was just, he was tunnel vision. Like, he just was not listening. Okay, Seth, time to get out. Whoosh, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Seth, come on, come on, come on. To the point it was getting a bit awkward.
Yes.
So I had to go in and scoop him up and bring him out. Surprised he didn't drop kick me in the face.
Oh, I heard you with a spear, maybe.
Oh, yes, he loves that.
Oh. If you could give some advice to anyone looking to get into wrestling,
Yep.
what would it be?
Get in the gym, get strong, get flexible. You are going to get injured. There's no doubt about it. Whether it's a small injury, whether it's twisting your knee, whether it's going over on your ankle, rolling your ankle, all rings are different. I mean, sometimes the ring will move when other people, if you're the third or fourth match in the card, the mats will shift, the boards will move. There may be divots in the ring, and you hit the ropes, you'll roll your ankle on that. Which is another reason why I wear wrestling boots, because they do protect your ankles and your feet. But be prepared for that. So get yourself strong, get yourself mentally ready for it as well, because wrestling can crush you at times. You can have a training session, and it'll be the best training session ever, but you can mess up one thing, and that'll keep you awake to 3 o'clock in the morning. And you're like, why did I do that, man? Why?
I remember texting Tucker one morning, and I work for a bakery, so I'm up quite early in the morning to go to work, and I don't get that much sleep after training sessions. Yeah. And I texted him the next morning. I was like, I could not sleep a wink last night. I was thinking about what we did last night, and my mind was going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, man.
Is this normal, or is there something wrong with me?
You're wired up, aren't you?
Yeah, Tucker just texted me back saying, welcome to the world of wrestling, brother.
Tuck's class, isn't
Yeah, oh, it's 100%.
It's working for the bakery there, and you're worried about wrestling. That's the yeast of your problems.
Yeah, boom, boom. So, what's the best bit of advice that you have been given?
Okay.
Or that has helped you out the most? Because obviously not all advice is it's not one size fits all. But when it comes to advice, especially in the wrestling world,
probably for me, and it's advice that I've been given multiple times that I don't take, because it's just my personality. But believe in yourself more would be my biggest thing.
Yeah.
I'm very very hard on myself. I know I am, but I find that I have to be at times. I'm scared of slipping. You know, be hard to get in the gym more, get your cardio up, get in the ring more, do this better, be quicker at this, feed better for this, do this better. It's a constant battle with me.
It's one of the things when you do eventually get into the ring and your match is recorded and you watch it back, and I would be very like you. I'm very criticizing myself. I could have done this better. I could have done that better. And people will tell you, "Oh no, but the match was great." And you're like, "Yeah, no, but I could have done this and I
Yeah.
could have done that." And one of the things too with my mind's like a sieve sometimes, and we'll plan stuff. And there was a match recently where it was Franco and Jacko DNA and the bad guys versus the standard and the stars aligned. And there was a spot where JDP was going to gorilla press slam Jacko
Yeah.
over his head on top of myself, DJ, and the standard.
Mhm.
And we got back to the dressing room, and I think it was Gary Gibson said to me, "How did the gorilla press slam spot go?" And I looked at Jacko and went, "We forgot about it." And Jacko went, "No, you forgot about it. The other guys caught me." And it just completely went out of my head,
As you working in a bakery, not using your loaf.
Boom, boom, you're on fire of the day. You're on fire of the day.
These things happen, man.
Yeah.
I remember I got into the ring once. It was a rotten venue. It was a bodybuilding competition, and we were allowed to set a ring up and do a bit of wrestling just to showcase it. These people had no idea about wrestling. Some people were walking away going, "What is going on over there?" And we're just putting matches on through the day. So I was going over a match with this guy, and then I got in the ring, and the bell rang, and I went, "I have forgotten absolutely everything about this match." That's a true story. But comes back quick though,
Yeah.
you know.
So before we left the car, I let you try a milkshake.
You did.
And it was William Miller Moo, who is our sponsor for the podcast. And you tried the banana one.
It is.
What did you think of it?
That was lovely, man. I'm not a big milkshake guy, to be honest with you, but Miller Moo's a big hit in our house. The two boys love them, especially Reg. Like, Reg's really eat your hand off for a milkshake.
Oh. So, for anybody that doesn't know, Miller Moo sponsors the Welcome to Franco podcast. They are available in all good stores. You can also get them on Instagram, Facebook. I'm going to call it Twitter because I know it's Twitter. There'll be people out there going, "It's called X." It's always going to be Twitter to me. They're also on TikTok, or you can get them on clarkmiller.com.
Miller Moo, the milk to drink when feeling blue. Miller Moo, 4 flavors. Which one's for you? Strawberry, banana, chocolate, cookies, and cream. Miller Moo, we love you.
So, moving back on, you spoke there about your martial arts.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a wee bit about that?
I started martial arts when I was about maybe 5 or 6. I started with Shotokan karate.
Yep.
My dad was a black belt, and he'd been pushing for me to start from a young age. Here, I've been doing it with Seth. He does taekwondo now, and it's been me that started him. He's been doing it since 3. But anyway, so I done it for 5 or 6 years, maybe longer. Up until maybe I was in secondary school, maybe 2nd or 3rd year, and at that time I was going through puberty, and you get that lazy bones.
Yes.
Where you're glued to your bed, and you don't suddenly want to do the things you used to do. Kevin and Perry, yeah.
Yep.
So
yep.
I gave it up, man, and it took me a long time to get back into it. Again, a confidence thing, probably starting something new, being older, being self-aware. But I did get back into it. I started with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before COVID, and I'm now a purple belt with 1 stripe purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. and started judo around the same time, and I'm now a brown belt. I had competition at Christmas for my grading for my black belt, and you need 100 points for your black belt. So a clean win will get you 10 points.
Yep.
So I had two fights, two victories. So I have 20 points towards my black belt now.
So you're on the road to get the black belt.
On the road, man, yeah. So it's exciting. It's hard. Again, it's hard work. It's draining. It takes a lot of dedication, commitment, and it's a stress fest too. Much like a wrestling show. It's the stress of standing there and not really knowing who you're fighting on the day and just being put up against an opponent. I mean, I had this one guy. He was massive. He was a big guy, and I was trying every throw to throw him. I couldn't, but I eventually got him down, and I put him in Gitchikatami and just held him, and he just tapped in, you know. So, but I was holding him with all my might, you know.
Yeah. So whenever you started out on your journey,
Yes,
in the pro wrestling, what were your expectations?
very small at the start. Initially, I just wanted to get into a wrestling ring. I was never the kid, and I know I've had my eldest boy in the ring, but I always had it in my head that if I was ever to get in a ring, it's because I had earned it.
Yep.
So I felt that I'd earned it when I started to train. The first time I went, right now's the right time. So that was my first expectation. The second one was working towards a match, which took... I started with a company called Pro Wrestling Ulster, and they had a training school. But after 6 months of training, they closed it. I'm not sure what happened, but the trainers at that school then opened their own school, which became Uprising. And I trained there, I think, for maybe another 5 or 6 months before I actually was able to have my first match. And that's when I had my match with Blake Richards.
And when you're preparing for your matches, does Steven Carvel have any like pre-match rituals? Are you superstitious or anything? Or?
I am, yeah, and I do. I have a week of rituals when I'm preparing for a match.
Right.
So I'll do 2 layers of tan. I'll have a bath. Usually a bath probably on the Monday, and I'll shave my body. What needs to be shaved: chest. I shave from my knee right up. So you know, because that's what's going to be tanned. That's what's going to be oiled. Then I'll be making sure I'm cutting carbs right back. Okay, and the night before I train, so I'll have 2 layers of tan. I'll tan the Thursday and the Friday to be ready for the Saturday.
Yep.
So on the Friday night, I'll usually have a bottle of wine, red wine. And then if I have a show on the Sunday as well, I'll have the same.
Yep.
So that would be my routine.
And is there anything you do on the day, sort of before your match? Have you like a warm-up routine, or?
I try, if there's a gym in the venue, I'll hit the gym. I'll try to get a bit of a pump on, try to get some flexibility. I always carry stretchies cables with me.
Yep.
And they're always in my bag. So I'll always have some sort of resistance training before I actually train. And even with that, I have been injured many times.
Yeah. It's one of the things you find when you get older that stretching always helps.
Yes.
And it's also very, very important. I remember reading one time in Chris Jericho's book, it's Rob Van Dam, I think he was talking. He had mentioned him that he wasn't. Rob Van Dam's done a lot of stretching, and Jericho's like, "Oh, I never stretch." And I recently watched an interview with him recently, and he said, he was talking about what he had written in the book. He said he discovered JDP or DDP.
JDP.
He had discovered DDP yoga.
The man sitting on a fortune.
Yeah, you know. So, and he does that now every day without fail, and it's something. I was recently diagnosed with sciatica, and it can be quite painful some mornings getting out of bed. And I had discovered on Prime, I'll actually put it in I'll put a link into it down below the podcast for anybody that's interested.
Awesome.
But it's a yoga specifically designed for men, and it really, really helps some mornings to get the blood flowing and get things loosened up and get you on the go. So you're a former 2-time Titanic champion.
Yes, I am.
Do you think you've achieved everything that you set out to whenever you first started, or is there more to come from Steven Carvel?
When I first started, as I say, you know, my goals were small, short-term goals. I still have goals that are still small, short-term goals, but I'm trying to make them achievable. So no, I like to think I'll never be fully happy with what I achieve. Next for me is the Titanic show coming up in Ards on the 16th of August.
I think it's the 16th, yeah.
Saturday. So that's my next goal, to be ready for that. You know, you're saying about yoga and being diagnosed with sciatica. I have been diagnosed with arthritis in my right shoulder and also in my left knee. So double whammy. So this is walking with Franco. Should be hobbling with Franco today.
Yeah, we can hobble together. We can hobble together. I feel some days that we're falling apart, but it's one of those things that just comes with age. But so you've wrestled all over Northern Ireland. I know you've also wrestled in the south of Ireland.
Yes.
And recently you travelled to Scotland.
Yes.
Is there anywhere else you've wrestled or anywhere else you would like to wrestle?
I have had offers to wrestle in England previously, and I've had to turn them down because either the kids were too young, and I just didn't really want to leave my wife to deal with two small kids on her own. You know, we both work full time as well, and that's been mainly my reason why I haven't branched out as much as I really could have. However, I have now been to Scotland thanks to Ravy Davy. He was kind enough to have me over, and he has mentioned about the possibility of me coming back as well. So that would be awesome. I have wrestled for a lot of companies in Ireland. I think I counted up 10 wrestling promotions
Right.
the other day.
You've been around.
A lot of them that don't exist anymore either. So, but I'm very happy wrestling where I am now in Titanic. I mean, we have a great bunch, and the production. I mean, I was sitting watching an older show from Titanic at 2022 with Seth, my eldest boy, the other night, and even the production from then to now, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Even the hard cam setup, the entrance setup, the fans. I mean, there's less fans, and now we're jammed. You know,
Yeah.
Conswater is always jammed whenever we're over there, and we're over quite regularly too.
I remember doing one of the shows, I think it was last year's Halloween show, when it was a lot darker inside.
Yes.
For anybody that has been to Conswater, they'll know that there's the big skylights and there's a lot of light comes in.
Yes.
But because this was Halloween, it was a darker day.
Class.
The venue was a lot darker, and they had the spotlights and all, and it really, really felt like a different venue, you know.
And the good thing about that too is, I find in a bright venue, fans are almost frightened sometimes to react because they don't want to be put on the spot.
Yes.
And I will put them on the spot.
Yeah.
But in the darker venue, it makes people encourages them to make a bit more noise, I think, because they know they're not directly going to be seen.
Yep.
Plus it gives you that. I love being in the ring because it's almost, you're on stage. This is your canvas. You can paint you can perform your art here.
Yep.
So sometimes you can't see people. It's almost like a dream when you're in the ring.
Yes.
And time seems to move differently also.
Yes.
So it's that aspect of it too. There, it's just awesome, isn't it?
Just when you were saying there about Titanic being a great bunch, it's something I've mentioned to the Titanic management before. It's something that they should really, really be proud of. I mean, I played a lot of sports over the years, and there's always one or two bad apples in the bunch.
Oh, yeah.
That would ruin things for everybody else. But Titanic, everybody is on the ball. Everybody's so helpful. Everybody's like show days. Everybody mucks in.
Yeah.
Everybody gets the ring set up, and it's a real team effort. And I consider myself very lucky, and I also am very proud to be part of Titanic Wrestling.
Yes, me too.
So moving on, is there anything else other than the wrestling and the martial arts that you like to do outside of wrestling?
I love to cook, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I worked in kitchens from when I was 15 years of age. I always wanted to be a TV celebrity chef.
right.
I'm serious, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I fancied myself as a bit of an Ainsley Harriet, so I did. So I used to love the show. Remember Can't Cook, Won't Cook? I
Yes.
loved it, man. You know, I
Yep.
say bring it back.
Bring it back.
But like,
A wrestling style one.
yeah, that'd be great, actually.
Cooking with Franco.
There you go. Here, stealing my work now, bro. Cooking with Carvel.
Yeah. Hey.
Welcome to Carvel's Carvery.
Oh.
No, I do a lot of cooking in the house. I mean, everything we eat pretty much is made from scratch. I can't bake. Well, I can, but I'm not great. I like when I'm cooking, I'm spontaneous. I know my flavors. I know what I need to put in. I don't really weigh anything. With baking, you have to be precise, and I just don't have the patience for that. Whereas my wife's an excellent baker. She'll bake me a carrot cake every year for my birthday as well. It's insane.
Love carrot cake.
Oh man, you want to try this? I'll get you a whack of this round you. But yeah, I love cooking. I love curries, man. I've never had a curry too hot. Spicy food. Whoa. Curry and a Cobra beer. Hard to beat.
Oh.
Cobra's not sponsored yet.
But I'm obviously a fan of Italian beer, but
I know you are. Why's that, Franco?
I don't know. Just something in the genes. So you've recently become a fan favourite with the Titanic fans.
Oh, shucks.
But you were also a member of the Standard, who were perhaps one of the greatest factions in recent Northern Ireland wrestling history.
The greatest.
How did that all come about?
Well, in real life, very good friends with both Blake Richards and Eddie Stone, Ricky and Dave.
Yep.
They're my boys. Refer to them as their uncles.
Yep.
So Ricky I met, as I say, in secondary school. We became very, very good friends when we were aged 14, 15, and we've been best friends ever since, again, bonded through wrestling. My first day of training, in the advanced group, I met David McKinstry, and I remember being asked to do a drop kick, which I'd never done before, and the trainer at the time said, "Who wants to take a drop kick off the new guy?" So I was like, okay. McKinstry was the first to step up. He stepped up and he says, "I'll do it." And I went, "Whoa, fair play." And we've been great mates ever since, until the two of them smashed my head in with a chair, obviously. And they can go and rot. So we all joined Titanic after COVID because we wanted to continue wrestling, and it was the school to be training at.
Yeah.
So we all joined at the same time, and because we had previously wrestled for, I wouldn't say rival promotions, but other promotions, but never Titanic.
Yep.
I suggested that maybe a faction would be good because fans might put two and two together, and a heel faction might be something interesting and different. So I pitched that to management of Titanic, and they loved it. So it wasn't that long after I had won the Titanic Championship the first time that the group was formed and put together. So that's how it started.
You were saying there about when you first started your training, you started with Blake Richards.
Yes.
Did you find it helped being with someone as opposed to going on your own?
Yes, I did. I would say I would suffer greatly with self-confidence. That's something I've always suffered with. And I found having Blake Richards there, Ricky, was a great comfort, and also something we could talk about and keep each other right about. How did this look? How did that look? I knew he wouldn't. He would be honest with me and give me honest feedback, and then that's what it's all about. There's no point in telling everyone they're excellent all the time when they're not.
Yep.
You need to be told, and that's how you get better. And I have no issue with that.
That was one of the things that I enjoyed about going with Jacko. It wasn't just that I was going and doing something with my son.
Yes.
It was the fact that I had someone else there, not so much to hold your hand,
yes,
but to bounce things off of.
100%.
And my initial thought was, whenever I wanted to start, it was basically, if I had a drop jack off, by the time I drop jack off, get home, I'd have been sitting down for 10 minutes and I had to turn around and go back again to get him.
Yeah.
And my thought was, if I go and join in, I can lose a bit of weight, get a bit more healthier, and also it would be good to father-son bonding.
Yes.
We never ever went with the intention of becoming a father-son tag team because I thought, I'm way too old for this. If I can get in and do a bit of training.
Silence those voices in your head,
Oh,
man.
and I'm not kidding you. I have got the bug.
Of course you do. And that'll never go away.
No, I mean, I look at guys, the likes of, we mentioned Billy Gunn earlier.
Oh, man.
You have Jeff Jarrett, Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, man.
All guys that are in their 60s, all guys that still have great physique and can still put out a great match.
Yeah, those boys can go. I mean, my goats have always been that I wanted to wrestle. Everyone's like, oh, I want to wrestle Shawn Michaels, I want to wrestle Bret Hart. For me, now, I've mentioned Owen Hart is my favourite wrestler.
Yep.
Owen obviously passed in 1999.
Yep.
Kurt Angle joined the company in 1999. Instantly, I was a Kurt Angle fan. Massive Kurt Angle fan. He became my all-time greatest then as well, so Owen and Kurt. And I've met Kurt twice. So I have met him at a fan signing and then met him randomly in an airport in Dublin. I was going to Egypt with my mum. Me and my mum would have travelled a lot together.
Yep.
Because we were very close. And my mum said to me, that's Kurt Angle. And I went, what are you talking about, mum? She goes, that's Kurt Angle. Really calm,
Yeah.
Wee Linda didn't really fret too much,
Yeah.
She's like, Stevie, that's Kurt Angle over there. And I went, no, it's not. She goes, yeah, I think it is. Apparently I took off for beeline straight for him. And mum got a photo. I was shaking, man, with my arm around him, I could not believe it, But mum got a photo. And then for Christmas that year, mum had the photo blown up for me and framed. And I have that in my home gym on the wall. Sorry, I was a wee
No, you're grand, you're grand.
But guys I would like to wrestle was always Billy Gunn and Bob Holly. So if somebody said to me, who would you like to wrestle? And I'll make it happen. I'd say Billy Gunn or Bob Holly. Or if Tatanka, if he's on the road still.
Yeah. Tatanka was always a favourite of mine.
I
used to love it. I always had a little soft spot for Native Americans growing up. I like my history and I like the Native American history. So you mentioned your mum there.
Yes.
And very sadly she passed away last year.
Last January, mate. Yeah.
Last January. What did she think of your wrestling? Did she ever come and watch you, or?
She used to come all the time. She wouldn't have missed the show. Yeah, man, it was tough when I lost my mum. She passed in January, the 3rd of January last year. She had a long battle of lung cancer, but again, as I said, my mum didn't let anything really threat her. She was diagnosed in 2018 and she had lung surgery over the July fortnight of 2018, and she was told she would have a year at most. So she, as I say, she passed in 2024, so she did okay. But mum would have come to the wrestling shows and she said she hated coming because she was scared of me getting hurt. A lot of the times I did get hurt, but I tried to hide it from her.
Yep.
But she came and she sat there and she watched it, and she used to tell me off all the time afterwards. She would say to me, "Don't what you do that for? That was rough. What are you doing that for?" So, but yeah, she used to come with the first T-shirt that I released with my image on it with a wine glass. She had that T-shirt and she wore it religiously to every show, and I found that probably the hardest thing when there's only me.
Yeah.
My dad passed in 2015. I have no brothers and sisters, so I had to clear my mum's house out by myself. Well, my wife helped, obviously. And I found the T-shirt, man, that I'd given her. And that was the most heartbreaking thing.
Oh, man.
So, but I have the T-shirt, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take a leaf out of my mum's book here, and I'm gonna turn this into a positive. So I have the T-shirt, and I've kept it, and I have it safely put away. So that's a positive, isn't it? So,
yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, my dad, Franco Senior, he loves coming to watch myself and his grandson, and he really loves it. And he brought my mum one time, and it's usually Jekyll that's taking the heat. And my mum said to me afterwards, why did you just stand there and let that child get beat up? you could have in there sooner and helped him. That poor child. And I was like, Mum, just
That's mum's, isn't it?
yeah, like don't worry about it. He's a big boy. He can take it.
He was due it.
Yeah. If he's not getting it in the ring, he's getting it at home. Is there anyone on the current Titanic roster that you think Steven Carvel could have a good match with that guy?
Somebody I haven't wrestled?
Yeah, somebody that you haven't wrestled.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to wrestle Gary Gibson. We've never wrestled, and I think his work's excellent. I would love to have maybe a one-on-one with Mohan. A young lad coming up the roster at the minute with a surname Sparrow. He's caught my eye too.
Yeah, bit of lightning there.
Bit of lightning there, yeah. So there's a lot of people on the roster that are coming through as well. Young ones.
Oh, the current roster is swelling and swelling and swelling, and me and you're of a similar vintage, we shall say, but there's certain things you can see in people.
20 years older than me, Frank.
I don't think so. There's certain things you can see people doing, and you can just think he's going to be good, or she's going to be good,
yeah.
or they are going to be good.
Yeah.
You see it. You can see things in some people.
Absolutely.
What has been your favourite matches in Titanic?
Oh, okay. I'll probably forget a few here, so if I don't mention anyone, please don't be offended.
Oh, they will take huge offence.
Oh, emails.
There will be potatoes and everything getting thrown at you in training.
Happy days, because I am hungry. I really enjoy working with Eddie Stone and Blake Richards. And Eddie Stone has potatoed me every time we have wrestled.
Uh-huh.
And when I said, now we have never wrestled each other, but aside from recently, but anytime we wrestled as a tag team on shows around the country, if he was like he was falling on me or something, he would land on me and try to kill me. He called it the flying squirrel.
In the match that I was talking about earlier, the 8-man tag, I had a hold on Blake Richards, and we're planning the match in the back, and I had said to Eddie Stone, I'm going to get Blake Richards in this move if you come in and hit me a big kick in the back to break it up. I was like, yeah, I can do that. And it was only after the match, when I had Blake in the hole, I also had my back to their corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this thunderous chop on my back. And I could just feel my chest leaving my body.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he said to me, was that chop all right? I said, was that a chop? I said, I thought you kicked me. He says, no. I said to Jacko beforehand, I think I might hit your dad a big chop to get Blake out of that hole. What do you think? And Jacko said, yeah, but just don't tell him.
Yeah, of course he did. Oh, he's solid.
Oh, hey, and for me, there's nobody better to chop in Titanic wrestling because his chest just echoes for days.
Oh, big time.
It is unreal.
So match-wise, off the top of my head, I had a really good match with Redmond last December. I really enjoyed that. We got to wrestle LJ Cleary as well.
Yes.
Which, I mean, we'd never touched aside from that, and that was awesome. He's a great lad, very fond of him. Got wrestling JDP is great. JDP he's fantastic in the ring. He's very easy to move about, and he'll just give you whatever you need.
Yep.
Yep. That would be awesome. Me and Bob have had great matches. Bobby Diamond.
Bobby Diamond's a real star.
Yeah, class.
A real star.
And had a 3-way with Horse and Bobby Diamond. When was that? A couple of years ago. I thought for a triple threat, man, it was awesome. So it was, because triple threat sometimes can be a little bit
iffy.
Yeah, hard to not be messy.
Yes.
But no, I thought it was great.
So outside of Titanic, is there any big names that you've came across and wrestled, or any matches that you've been proud of?
I got to wrestle Paddy Morrow one time in again a triple threat with CJ West and OTT. That was class. I'd always wanted to wrestle Paddy. Um, Paddy is, in my opinion, one of the greatest in the country, if not the greatest. I wrestled Cody Hall a few years ago. That was a good match. It was nice and solid.
That's Scott Hallson,
That's
Razor
him.
Ramon.
Yep, that's him. I'd had a hardcore match with Rory Coyle, which was the first kind of time I'd done anything like that. A video nasty match, I think it was called at the time. So it was different. I got to wrestle Visage as well. That was a great match. Let me think. I wrestled in Titanic. I know this was outside Titanic. Niwa, I thought was a great match as well. Good hard hitting match. Niwa's great. I've had a few bangers with Adam Maxted as well over the years. I'm always love wrestling Adam. I think he's fantastic as well. Anytime me and Tucker have wrestled, I know recently that we had one in Titanic. I was very happy with that match. But we've had a few through other promotions over the years as well. I think Tuck's class.
He's for me, he's someone who should be on the TV.
Oh, he should be, yeah.
And the guy, wrestling is his whole life. He wrestles all over Europe, and I actually, one of the best matches I ever had, and I'll probably put myself down here, was I refereed Tucker and LJ Cleary. And that match, I learned so much just from listening to the two of them in the ring. And I thought, wow, and that would be a bit of advice I would give to anybody who wants to get into wrestling.
Yeah.
Is try and referee first, because you learn so much from just refereeing. And it also gets you inside the ring before you actually get into the ring to wrestle. And it sort of helped take the nerves away from me.
Yeah.
You know?
Unless you get your shoelaces untied mid-match, that's not very good for any referee.
There's nothing worse than that.
Who would do something like that?
Oh, there's always one joker out there, you know.
Rotter.
So, we've previously spoken about your association in the Standard.
Yes.
And recently you have teamed up with Geordie Boy.
Yes.
Is this going to be a new addition to the Titanic Tag Team division, or is this a marriage of convenience?
Well, I suppose the way Steven Carvel would look at it is anybody he's trusted recently has turned on him. He was very much a lone wolf for years, and then the Standard was formed, and those boys turned on him. Had that match with Tucker, and next thing Tucker kicks my head off for no reason. So he probably treat Geordie with at arm's length for now. Don't get me wrong, you know, he's an excellent wrestler, and I think he's a bright future too. But I just don't know if Steven Carvel would fully trust him just yet.
Have you ever done anything in the ring where you thought, I shouldn't have did that, or I shouldn't have done that?
Yeah, all the time, man. Especially watching stuff back. Takes me forever to watch my stuff back. Everyone's down to see the show back the next day. Not me. I just want to hide. Even when it goes live, I'm like, oh god. And I've seen like a match of mine coming out. I've turned my phone off. I'm not dealing with that today. So it could be something as small as maybe not being fast enough doing something, or maybe even how I look. You know, I'm always critique myself hard that way. And sometimes you get in your head a little bit about things like that.
Now, on the Facebook page, I've promised people a few laughs along the way. Can you tell us a funny story that happened to you, or you have seen happen to someone, that you have a laugh out loud moment?
Yeah, okay. I have to be selective about these stories.
You don't have to name names if it makes it easier.
It's okay. Well, this one involves me, so that's okay. I'm terribly fond of a bit of mischief. Maybe that's the own heart coming out of me.
Yep.
I like small gimmicky things, you know. I always heard about Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart getting a 10, you know, when they're in the corner, they were heels, and Edge and Christian were giving them in the top rope, and they were giving them the 10.
Yep.
10 punches, you know. And they're going 8, 9, ooh, and I thought, ooh, Edge and Christian looked at the audience. But that just gave Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart enough time to go into their trunks and pull out a red nose, put the red nose on and look up. So when they went, oh, and turned back to the 10, they were just punching the red nose like a clown's red nose. And I thought, this is class. So I bought tiny little birds.
Yes.
So I did. Little robins.
Yes.
And I got them off Amazon. Like, I don't know, they're like Christmas decorations, but they're tiny.
Yep.
So at the last match, actually, I had stuffed this into my trunks. And we all know Kevin Brennan.
Yes.
Our referee. Great lad.
Yes.
Love Kev. So Kev comes over at the start of the match and checks me and stuff, and he says, you've no weapons concealed. And I just looked at him with a straight face and said, just have this tiny rescue robin. You put your hand out. And he just looked at me and went, what? I says, just tiny rescue robin. And he put his hand out, and I put it in his hand. And he just looked at it, and he looked at me. And I had the game face on,
yes.
And he looked back at it, and he went, thanks very much. He just couldn't register what was happening. It's just silly humour, very mature, But
there was, you were mentioning the match there about the shoelaces being untied.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that was a match between Blake Richards and Tucker for the Titanic Championship.
It was the match between Eddie Stone and H.W. Muscle.
That's what it was.
Because me and Blake Richards were on the outside because he was my conspirator.
Later on in the day, it was Blake Richards against Tucker.
Yes, it was. Yeah, great match.
And I know Tucker's a big fan of bagels. And the company I work for also work with a company called New York Bagel.
Yeah.
And they had brought out a maple syrup flavoured bagel and a cookies and cream flavoured bagel.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
And I remember putting them on my Facebook feed going, wow, look at these. And Tucker messaged me literally instantly, are these legit? And I text back saying, yeah, they're coming out soon. And just before the match had started, they were sort of having a face-off in the ring. And I was like, giving them their instructions. And Tucker just turns to me and says to me, what about those bagels, Franco?
In mid-match.
And I couldn't even. And I just looked at Blake Richards, and Blake Richards looked at me, and the two of us were biting each other's lips, just trying not to laugh. I was like, you rotten sod.
Oh, I love stuff like that, though.
Oh, it's unreal. But, okay, Stephen, so now we're coming to the Franco heat sheet. This is to try and get you a little bit of heat with some of your fellow wrestlers and friends and family.
I try to avoid heat at all costs. So.
Yeah, well, what's your wife's date of birth?
My wife's date of birth is the 12th of May.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Who do you text the most?
You probably at the minute. Or Blake Richards when he was my friend before he smashed my head in my chair.
What was your favourite subject at school?
Art.
Name a 4-letter word starting with F.
Ford.
What's your favourite shop, or where's your favourite place you like to shop?
For food or for clothes? Or
where's your favourite shop?
Lidl.
What's your favourite movie?
Ghostbusters.
What's your go-to lazy dinner?
Curry.
Is your bed made right now?
100%.
If you could have any car or motorbike in the world, what would you choose?
A Raptor.
Who's your favourite Disney character?
Oh, I hate Disney, man. I'd have to really think about that, actually. Disney's Pixar as well.
Yes, well, like Pixar.
Like Pixar. Buzz Lightyear then?
Buzz Lightyear. What never fails to make you laugh?
Billy Connolly.
Most annoying Titanic wrestler?
Blake Richards.
Childhood crush?
Childhood crush? I can't remember her name, but your woman that was in, not Pamela Anderson, Baywatch, the one with the dark hair. I can't remember her name.
Is it Cameron?
Could be, yes. Or Claudia Schiffer.
Best friend in Titanic wrestling?
Would be Blake Richards.
Who would you most like to have a beer with?
You right now. Because you're paying. You hear that wallet jingling there?
Tell us something funny that happened in a Titanic wrestling ring.
Whew. I told a story about the rescue Robin earlier.
Yes.
There was one time I untied the referee's shoelaces mid-match multiple times. Isn't that right, Franco?
That's right. What words or word do you hate hearing?
I hate you. You know when people joke, I hate you?
Yes.
Yeah, I hate that. I think it's really negative.
What's your favourite type of music?
And 80s music, New Romantics, New Wave.
Did you ever drink alcohol before you were 18?
Absolutely. Do you want me to tell you which one I drank?
Go for it.
Goldslager in the
Gold
park
Sla-
when I
Oh.
was 13 years of age. Quarter bottle. Sick for about 4 days.
Well, obviously, Franco, being a parent, does not approve of underage drinking.
You sold mate. Because you're a lot older than me. You had a job.
Stephen, thank you very much for coming today. I greatly, greatly appreciate it.
No.
I have really chuckled today. It has really made me laugh. Listen, it was an absolute honour and a pleasure to have you as the first guest on the show. I only can wish you all the best for the future.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Franco, or as we'll call you, Chuckles from now on. After all that chuckling you've been doing. Chortling.
Yeah, I've been called worse.
I know, I've heard them. Heard them shouting at you.
Folks, that's the end of episode 1 of Walking with Franco. Thank you so much for listening. Look forward to the next one. We will be posting probably on Monday. Guess the guest of who our second guest is going to be. So for now, good luck and take care. Walking with Franco, over.
Step by step through the wrestling tale, Franco's got the stories that never go stale. With the champs, the underdogs, the dreamers too. He's walking and talking just for you. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends alive. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends alive. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Oh, gold. Walking with Franco, legends alive. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends align. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the stars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. He's got the moves and the posture charm, a gladiator's heart with a wrestler's arm. Through the ropes of life, the stories climb. Franco's walking and it's prime time. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends alive. Every step's a suplex in time.